Hello, hi everybody. Welcome to another tutorial on SynthMaster 1. Today I would like to talk about the filter section, which we have not approached yet. So I just launched the synth. So let's click on the preset name and let's select any preset. Let's change the waveform to my preferred waveform, which is a spectral resonant LP low plus O2. Perfect. And let's increase also the unison to 8th. Let's give it a bit of width and also some detune. Okay, let's enable the filters now. So we click on here. Here we go. And you can see here from the image below that the filter has been enabled. Now, so what do we have here? So first of all, the type of filter. So we have a ladder filter, which is very much similar. It's trying to reproduce what a Moog filter will do. And we have a diode ladder filter, which will try to simulate a Roland TB303. The state variable will try to simulate Oppenheim SAM, and the byte is really trying to apply the same algorithm to try to reproduce the Korg MS-20 famous filter. So let's stick to the ladder low pass to 24. Then what do we have? We have a boost signal to amplify your signal, particularly when you have you have high resonance. Then you have which let's do that. You of course don't notice the difference unless you increase the resonance. See, lower. Let's boost it. Then we have an acid settings, which will apply on the ladder and dial ladder. And this really link the cutoff resonance so that when one decreases, the other one will do that as well. And I will give that effects like a Roland TB303. So we have two filters we can apply, the first one and the second one, and we have an intensity here in the middle. Okay, we have an input gain, a cutoff, and also we can select how the key track influences the cutoff. We have modulation 1 and 2, which correspond to 1 and 2 here, as the LFO 1 and 2 correspond to the LFO 1 and 2 there. And then we can select the drive to give more edge. We have resonance, and then we have the volume as well as output. There are some modulation which is applied by default. Let's click on the cutoff. If you click on remove modulation, you will see that the modulation envelope 1 and the LFO 1 has already been applied by default on the cutoff. As well, if you go on the volume and you're trying to remove modulation, you find the amplification envelope 1 has also been applied. So let's increase a touch the volume. Okay, and let's use the amplifier envelope 1. So let's do a higher attack. As you can see, it's moving up and down. You should know by now how to modulate based on my previous tutorial. Let's include also as lower decay, no sustain, and a bit of release. Okay, as you can see, it's going up slowly, it stays there for a bit, then it's coming down slowly. Okay, perfect. So let's do the same on the cutoff. As I said, on the cutoff, if you're trying to remove the modulation, which you can't, you have modulation envelope 1, which is there, and also you have an LFO. So let's start with the modulation envelope 1. So let's increase the attack. Let's increase the effect from here. As you can see, this has been applied there. Let's remove the sustain and let's include some decay. As you can see, it's coming down there. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply also a bit of a LFO as a modulation. So LFO number 1, which is here, LFO number 1. So let's increase the effect of the LFO. Let's try. As you can see, both the modulation envelope 1 and the LFO are applied. So it's going up as it's oscillating, and then it's coming down as it's still oscillating, which is quite cool. Some very interesting effect. Perfect. And of course you can also activate the second filter. You can go to filter 2 activated from there, or you can also click here on the writing picture to activate the second filter. And in this case you find that on the volume you are connected to the amp envelope 2, which you find here. Let's do something similar with decay and now sustain. And let's apply also some LFO and some modulation envelope. And let's also for effect intro sync the LFO2, make it bipolar, and also increase the frequency. Fantastic. Really cool. And as you can see, they don't appear here in the modulation metrics because those modulations are set up by default. When you init your preset, you find them already linked to your cutoff and volume respectively. But you can create some very interesting sound. Let's increase again for a more drastic impact. Let's increase filter 1 LFO impact. And let's increase also the resonant much more on the first one. Let's decrease the volume of the sinusoid on LF2. And let's finish off just adding a bit of reverb. Perhaps a bit of chorus as well. Remember, you can click any other dial and other modulation, or set it at default, or set the MIDI length to preset the global as standard option, but you can really create some fantastic modulation, just adding modulation to everything you need to. So for example, on the filter 1 here, we can say on the drive dial, let's add modulation, and let's say that this is driven by the second LFO, LFO number 2. As you can see, you see the movement there, second LFO is there. So, and let's increase the volume. And as I said, try different types of filter. So if you don't like that type of filter, go for a diode ladder, low pass 24. Very different from the ladder or state variable, low pass again. And a byte, low pass again. High pass. Very, very different. Let's do a ladder band pass. Or band stop. Or a dial, a state variable band pass. So as you can see, the great thing as well is that you can go to the modulation metrics and you can say, look, as a source I want to, for example, have a MIDI modulation wheel, and then as a target, for example, let's go on the oscillator 1 and let's for example to detune the spread, and let's select the influence on there, and you can see now as I play, if I move up the mouse, you see I act the modulation wheel, which will have an interesting effect. And for more dramatic effects, again, let's select oscillator number 1 and let's go to a drift amount, and let's increase the amount, which you can see there. Let's change the starting point to perhaps something like that. Okay, cool, and let's try now. Fantastic. So as you can see, a lot of possibility for you to try on the different filters, and also to change the settings not only by type but also the modulation that you have applied. So hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and see you next time.